We're live?
Yeah, I think you are.
All right. All
Yes,
right,
you
guys.
are.
All right. Hodl, hodl, hodl. Save, save, save. Build a, build a, build a. Sound money. Hey, guys. That's my little dance that I do. It's kind of sums up everything that I teach. And number one is we hodl. And we know that over the long run, that's rewarding. If I like just tweeted, I have an article that I did on Medium and on basically how I became a Bitcoin millionaire by just putting my social security check of $1,000 a month in buying Bitcoin since 2013. And incidentally, did you ever update the dollar cost averaging?
Oh crap, I think
No,
I did.
you haven't.
I haven't.
No,
Oh
crap.
All right, I'll do that. I kind of forgot.
Yeah, I know. We've been busy doing all this other
Yeah.
stuff.
Okay,
so
questions here.
all right, so great. I'm kind of doing this on my own, but not very I have to have all this help because I can get to the point. Probably next year I have to have somebody help wipe my butt or something. But anyway, I wanted to do this because this is here. You can take that. I don't need it now, or just put it on back there for the dance later on. Yeah, I mean, I just had a good run, and things don't always work out as well as it has the last 15 days. But on April 10th, I started with 0.6 Bitcoin, and you guys saw how I was able to run it up into 11.6 Bitcoin. One phenomena that you need to realize and learn, that move that we had yesterday. Let's go look at.
Here, let me do the screen share.
Do the screen share. Yeah. We'll go look at the daily chart, and I know a lot of you guys, for the first time, you didn't get stopped out, and you stayed with the position, and that's one of the hardest things to do in trading. Is just to stay with the winner.
Okay, there you go. You can move your mouse if you want.
Okay. All right. So let's go look at the daily chart. And okay, there we go. Oh, actually, we did. All right. What was the one I was looking at? Okay, that's the daily. Let's go look at the weekly. I guess it's the weekly one that I want to be looking at. You have to the tail end of moves are the biggest magnitude. And like I said, I didn't know it was going up there, but I did say, hey, it's very possible we could run up and take out the March highs in April. And if we did, there's a lot of stops up there. A lot of people just that's where they blow out. And that was where I wanted to sell, which I did. Now, there's no reason to be bearish this market. Now, this could just be that this market could be over with. In order to confirm the uptrend, we're going to have to take out the April high in May, and we may not even do it. We might have what's called an inside month. And if we let's go to TradingView and see if I can pull that up. TradingView. All right, so go TradingView. Let's go. All right, let's go BTC USD. And we'll do Bitstamp. That's probably the best one. And let's go look at this monthly. Okay, full chart. Now, here we are. We had a 9, and this thing's been selling off. Now, I might be premature. I went ahead and stepped back in because there's no reason to be bearish on this market right now. But my position is not as large as what I had on the way up. So, but let's go look at this monthly chart. That's the one. This is the key. Now, we took out the previous month's high. I sold it up here. Now, in order for this to confirm the uptrend, we need to go above this April high. We may never do it. I mean, I don't know where this thing can finish. We could finish, back down at 8,000. We could break 500 points real easy here. And then we can have, like I say, an inside month where we don't even, we stay within the parameters of what we did in April and May. By the same token, we have the FOMO here. I don't rule out that we could run this thing up some more, and about the maximum it could go would be 10,000. 500, 11,500. I don't see that. I think it's very unlikely. I probably regret lifting my spread and getting back net long, but I have done that. The reason I wanted to have this show, let's go to the. Am I still screen sharing?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
You're up there.
So, okay. So now this is my BitMEX account, and the subscribers I sent out last night before I withdrew 5.5 Bitcoin. So basically, if you add 5.6, if you add 5.6 to this, I have about 11.9, but I took out 5.6, and I reduced the size. I take money off the table, and I was completely flat this market, and I did cover this morning. Probably regretfully, but my position is not as large as it was, and I'm not. But there's no reason to be, bearish on this market. It's just a question of, there's just no reason to be bearish, and if we can just kind of hold in here and not do much, I think it would be a very healthy thing. What am I looking at over there? I don't know what that is. BitMEX.
That's the 30-minute.
No, the one on the big one.
This one?
I'm not getting that.
1 day.
Okay, that's what I want to look at. Okay, this is the chart I want to look at right now. It's this market. There's no reason to be bearish on this market. Now we could have a complete reversal and lose everything that we made yesterday, but it's extremely unlikely. In fact, we are right now right about where we closed at the end of the candle yesterday. So we're at 88.06. I covered a little bit too early, but I covered and went back long here because it's very possible it should just hold in here, and we ought to at least give it a run. And we could actually have a sharp up day. I mean, I would be surprised, but it is possible to have another day like we had yesterday, and I don't want to miss that. So if we do, so I don't mind. I got a nice profit. I made a bundle. I mean, I didn't play it perfectly, but I did about I made very, very few errors, and you guys can see how this is done. I want to compliment you guys that I know a few of you wrote that this is the first time that you didn't get stopped out, and that you actually caught the blow off move, and that's important to do. As I outlined the other day, or in the last two videos, it's amazing how many people missed this move. They sold out at 7,500. We had this dip below the previous week's lows, and they missed this whole move. They sold out too early at 7,500 and missed the whole move to the 20,000. So that's why you don't know when that's coming. Are we going to do it here? I don't know. But fundamentally, we know that Bitcoin is going to go up substantially in price, and the fundamentals isn't even Bitcoin. The fundamentals is the world we're living in, and this disastrous
Shor says thank you.
world monetary policies that we're doing right now. The goat lady, my wife, told me last night that she's making masks now, and her material costs, she cannot get the material except for paying over 10 times the price that it was last week. The same stuff, the same stuff that she could buy
cheaper.
Yeah, could that you could buy last week, and I don't know what the rate was, but it's
Wow.
it's over 10x. Like what she was making for 5 pesos, she's now has to pay 60 pesos if she wants it. So this is the kind of thing that we're going to be, yeah, it's going to get real spooky because once we're in a command economy now, and so there's going to be constant shortages and gluts. When the government commands people to do things, you know, then we're going to have a glut. And when they say, well, you can't do that, then we're going to have shortages. And that's, I mean, it's not rocket science, okay?
Wow.
So, and that's what's, you know, if we're headed into a hyperinflation, I think there's a good reason to think that we are. It's just not going to, nothing's going to make sense. The only thing, believe it or not, the only thing that is going to make sense is Bitcoin and thinking in Bitcoin and being on the Bitcoin standard. So, yeah, it looks like, so I wanted to have this show because, I wanted to have this show because this is the last day we're going to have the lifetime membership, and I want, you know, I invited the public to come in and watch us. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them. We have, let me tell you a little bit about uglyoldgoat.com. I've been a successful trader since 2000, every year in Bitcoin since 2013. In 2018, I was just trading and just wasn't making anything. I wasn't losing, but I was just breaking even and getting frustrated. And so I wrote an article once I got blown out of one market, blown out the market with a smile on Medium. And that's when I started getting a following. And Tone Bays, he knows my trading history. And so he was on, that kind of was a jump start too. So I started publishing my trades and writing articles on Medium. And I did that in 2018. I started publishing on Medium. I started with like 2 Bitcoin in October, and by December I'd taken out 22 Bitcoin. I caught that. I hadn't traded successfully all year, but I did catch the move on the downside from 6,500 to 3,500. And the reason being, it was, I was always, I can show you what I was doing here. All right, let's go here. Yeah, and this, every time it would go down here to the 6,000. Oh, I'm not sharing.
Yeah. Let me get there in a minute.
Okay.
Share. And this is it. Okay.
Okay. So every time it would go down here to under 6,000, 6,500, these lows, I would be bullish because every time that you spike down here, it went into backwardization. It did it every time until in here, right in here, it didn't. It went in a big contango. And then I said, look out, do not buy the next dip. And then that's when we did the Craig Wright Bcash split, I think it was. And I sold Bcash and did tremendous sense, sold Bitcoin. And I sold it right here at 64, 6,500, sold more like 5,500 in here and covered it all down in here. And then we went into backwardization again, and I was very bullish here when everybody thought it was going to break 3,000. I did not. And of course, then we did in February, I decided to invest 10 Bitcoin on developing uglyoldgoat.com. And I think I had to spend about 8 Bitcoin before we turned a profit, and I got that back. And then I started publishing all my trades. And on February 4th, I started with 2 Bitcoin. And last year, I ran that Bitcoin up to the point that by the end of the year, I'd taken out 32 Bitcoin by the end of the year, which is not too bad. And then at the beginning of this year, I started with 0.6. I didn't want to start with as much, so I just started with 0.6. And I was able to take out 6 Bitcoin by, I don't know, April 10th, I think it was, and started over again with 0.6, and got very fortunate because in this move I was able to catch this low whenever what I call Green Thursday, and rode this thing all the way up to here. And now the move should pretty well have run its course. It may be completely over for a substantial amount of time, or we could continue to run up. Just nobody knows. I don't know what the price is going to do. But anyway, those are the witnesses. What happens is you trade for a long time and you just kind of break even, and then you finally catch a nice winner, and that builds your equity. And so that's what happened here. And you guys all saw how it was done. And you guys can be better traders than I am. I don't attribute it. Again, I don't know where the market's going. Don't claim to. The whole key to successful trading, in my estimation, is managing your equity. If you learn to do that, you're on the road to success. But we wanted to do this because this is the last day. We're going to have a lifetime membership. We are started.
Your life, not theirs.
Yeah, my life, not yours. So if I live another 10 years, you're going to get a bargain. If I drop dead tomorrow, yeah, so sad, too bad. And look, I don't have to be doing this, guys. If you can tell, I mean, I don't have to be doing this. So I'm doing it because I like writing the Medium articles, and I want to show people how to trade successfully. You can do it. It's just most people have their thinking completely backwards, and you're just going to have to, throw out the garbage. And particularly if you've traded and you think you're an experienced trader, and you just every year you lose money instead of make money. Hey, you're doing something wrong, and you're probably, what I find most people do is they have everything backwards. I think the most important thing is technical analysis. And I don't diminish technical analysis, but it's the least very distant in importance. The most important thing is managing your equity and fundamentals. The fundamentals of Bitcoin are unique. So you want to, that's why we hodl Bitcoin. And then the last thing, and a distant third, is the TA. And it doesn't really matter what tools you use. Just find the ones that you're comfortable with. And it's a way to gear and get a feel for the market. None of them work all the time. You want to try and get it, you want to try and line up as many different things as you can. I don't use a lot of tools that I know are useful. I do things differently than a lot of people. You don't have to do it my way, guys. I mean, I'll show you what I do, but that's really not that important. I know you have a hard time getting that through your head. You think there's magic beans. I get criticized on Twitter. Yeah, they think there's magic points to buy and sell. There's no magic, guys. I have no idea where the market's going. And if you're asking me that, you never read what I'm teaching. Because I don't know, I trade accordingly. So the question is not where's the market going, but what are you gonna do if it gets there? And then what you do is you act accordingly. And so you kind of saw it in action. I said, well, I don't know what's going on here, but everything's bullish, and we're not oversold unless we take out last month's highs. Well, guess what? We went up there. I didn't predict that, guys. I don't forecast. I just knew that if that happened, I knew what I was going to do. Okay. And that's the difference. It's not, you cannot forecast I have no idea. Charts don't tell you where a market's going. All a chart is a history of what's happened in the past. There's nothing there that's going to forecast anything. And you can think that it does, but for every time that you think it does, you'll find, an exception where it doesn't. So you just, I don't know how else to explain it, that you need to, the most important thing on your trading, and I'll go back to this here, the most important thing that we can do in our trading is, okay, what is going on here? Okay. The most important thing we can do in the trading is this little box here called the margin box. And this is the most important thing, not what the market is doing up here. You know what? It doesn't matter what the market's doing here. I know it's really hard for people to grasp that, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The only thing that affects you, because Bitcoin can go to 100,000, but it doesn't affect you. This is what affects you. It's your own equity. So I say, before you trade the chart, learn to trade your own equity.
They're not saying what you're
Use stops on. Don't use. Look. As a professional trader, I know where people put their stops. It's always below lows and stuff like that. Where you put your stops is forget of, just use your equity. If your equity that goes to a certain point, you get out. That's it. That's it. Don't use magic points, because if you use magic points, everybody has the same magic point. and you're just going to, if you had the problem where you take a position and then you get stopped out and just reverses, that's, you're just looking at the market wrong. All right. So basically, the reason I'm here is I wanted to outline what's involved if you decide to get a membership. Okay. If you don't have a HODL, don't subscribe to my service, please. Okay. Because you really don't need it. The things that I teach are available free on my Medium articles on the website too. You can read the articles free on my website. Not all of them. There's more on Medium. So go to Ugly Old Goat on Medium if you want to see all of my articles. But
the links are in the description below. So
yeah, okay. And so what you want to do, and there's some good books too. In those links too, I have a couple of books that I recommend. I recommend if you subscribe that you also get the book. It's called The Art of Execution, which is just a fantastic book on managing your equity. I also recommend Ted Warren, and I have, of course, Tyler Jenks' Hyperwave. And I also recommend, I have Larry Williams has a book that I think his writings are pretty good, but he's a lot of stuff and a lot of it's garbage. But those are some of the easiest books without, and you don't have to have no calculus. You don't have, it's not rocket science. Some of the smartest guys in the world can't trade for shit, because they don't get the money management aspect of it. And some of the best traders in the world, Ted Warren only had a 6th grade education, and yet he was an extremely successful trader. So it's just a matter of having the right outlook, and I mean, and most likely, if you're not successful, it's because you've just got ingrained bad habits. If you've never traded before, I can really help you. The guys that are most difficult are the guys that, I'm an experienced trader. Yeah, I lost $500,000 last year. So yeah, well, you're experienced. You're the 95%. Thank you very much. That's how a little goat makes his living. But if you want to be a successful trader, you're just going to have to change your habits. And it's really hard to do. It took me a great deal of years to figure it out. So you can learn the easy way, you can learn the hard way. And so what you get with the newsletter is I do write a regular newsletter that's emailed to you. Everything, again, we started this website with just 10 Bitcoin. I probably invested 8 before we started getting income. And now it's profitable, but I don't need the income. Everything that you guys, if you support my work, we're going to improve what we do. And so that's what I focus on. We got all this equipment. I only trade off of one screen, but we got these in here. So for you guys, we haven't figured out how to share them with you yet, but anyway, and also it kind of gives it an aura. You don't need this. I've never needed all these monitors to trade. I just trade off of one monitor to one screen. We have started a Telegram group, and what's the name of that? It's Ugly Old Goats Trading Lounge. So
Yeah.
if you're a
Juan's
member,
on that.
huh?
Juan handles
Yeah,
that.
Juan is handling that. And
He's
so if you
more,
want to get on, and I'm trying to participate on it, I've helped the people. If you're a member, that comes with it. Just
Be patient. It's on its way.
oh,
Well,
I sent them
it's-
the link. They can go to Ugly Old Goat Trading Lounge and on Telegram, and they can.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll check out if they're a member or not, and then once we confirm you're a member, then we'll let you on.
Yeah.
So, and then we've got another thing that we're working on. We're with Joe Satz. He showed us a little thing where I may be able to have a thing. I can't tell you before I do trades that I'm trading, but we might be able to have like a shadow thing. So when I do something, you can see, oh, Ugly's doing something now.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so that might be helpful too. I mean, it won't be, that's what we'll be doing. But so that's what we're going to be doing. Let's see, what else have we got cooking? Yeah. So again, if you don't have a hodl, get a hodl. Once you have a hodl, you can take a small percentage of that hodl, and I would say no more than 10%, and then you can trade with that. And one of the keys is, if you lose it, the next time you put in less, you don't put in more. After I take a loss, for example, last February, I started with 2 Bitcoin. This year, I just started, let me show people you can do this. I started with less, 0.6, because I had a good year. I said, okay. And I've already taken out, just on BitMEX alone, I've taken out 11 and taken out 6 and 5.6. So that's 11.6, plus I have an equity now of 6. So that, 11.6, but 7, but taken out, I've got 0.6 has been turned into 17 Bitcoin. And now, that's where I'm at right now. Not bad. And hopefully, I won't give too much of it back. That's why I took funds off of the exchange, and my position is much smaller now, although I have reestablished my long. It's not nearly as large as it was. And it looks like I bought into trouble because I covered my shorts too quickly, which I tend to do. I always tend to be a buyer too early. You'll find everybody has their own trading styles and makes mistakes. So that's if you don't have a hodl, you don't need the newsletter. If you do trade, it's not something where I give you buy points and sell points, okay? Because I don't trade that way. I react to the market. And again, it's not, don't ask me where the market is going, but ask me what you should be always asking yourself the question, well, what am I going to do if it gets there? And so that's the way I trade. I'm reacting to what's going on and not trying to predict, because I don't know. I had no idea that the market was going to collapse in March and have Green Thursday, where I was able to buy June futures at under 3,300. But when it happened, I was in a position to take advantage of it. I knew exactly what to do. I had no idea that we were going to take out the March highs in April like we did yesterday. I had no clue. But it happened, and I knew what I was going to do if it happened. And I got out of everything. Went flat. And then I did start buying it back about 100 points higher than it is now. Right. Some of it in this area. So, that's where, that's the way I trade. And I publish everything. What you get with the newsletter is you're going to get my entire trade history from February 4th last year through today. I send it regularly on a CSV file we have an application that's not, it's extra because we have one of our members created it. It's called the Equity app, where you can actually load in all my trades or all your own trades and chart your own equity on like a TD sequential. And it's kind of just a new theory, and we're still playing with it because it's something I've always wanted to do, because I think trading your equity is more important than trading the technical analysis, far more important. And you cannot make a money management you can't make a money management error, because that's the only error that's fatal. Okay, if you're trading TA and you don't have money management, you are destined to lose. If not sooner, you will later. So you have, the most important thing is managing that equity. All right, so
Questions.
oh, do I have some questions?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, yeah, and I'm getting trolled on Twitter. People, I think there's envy. They can't believe, you know, that, hey, he's really does this. I'm not that good a trader, guys. I'm really not that good a trader. You guys can be much better than I am. Okay, I know a lot of traders don't like it, but I can sometimes publish his positions live. Okay, I don't. We're going to try and see if we can do that. We're working on. There's some kind of a new app where you. We're working on that. I don't know if I'm comfortable with it, but we'll see if we can do it. But it's not now. But the Telegram group it will be much more up to date than just newsletters. And we are starting a Telegram group. How do I scroll up and down? Are you scrolling?
I'm
that?
gonna scroll
Oh,
down.
okay, yeah. So we're okay. I've been present all, but so far all your newsletters live, I've seen it easily worth it. Okay, yeah. I mean, guys. It's really something you don't need. If you can change your thinking without it, but a lot of guys. Let me tell you something. My trading actually improved when I started publishing my trades, because I'm responsible to you guys. And I don't want to make a major screw up on money management, you know, and guys, it happens. I mean, you know, the adaptive capital, great guys, great analysis, smarter than I am. Yet they got wiped out because, you know, and there's only one way you can do that now, guys, and that's if you mismanage your equity. You can only, what's really cool about the exchanges now is you can only lose what's on those exchanges with the socialized losses, with them taking you out. It's not like the old futures exchanges where you could lose not only everything you put in, but your house and cars and everything else. You can lose everything, because before you get out, you know, you have a margin call and the market's locked. You can't get out. All right. By far the best trading platform. Oh, I don't know in the U.S. Guys, the only place I trade is a BitMEX, and I don't trade there because I'm a U.S. citizen. My wife trades on it, and the goat lady really is the trader. You know, she lets me kind of play with her account, but I don't do. I don't trade on. I haven't bought Bitcoin on any exchanges for years, at least 2 years, probably more. So I did try the Bybit and Deribit and was not impressed at all by Bybit. Deribit was okay. I like their spread between the bid and ask, which is an opportunity there for the small, medium traders. But the only market that has liquidity, you know, for any pro, any sizable trader is going to be on BitMEX. It's without doubt the premier exchange. So, and then you have to follow one. I mean, the only other exchange I use is Bitso, and that's the Mexican exchange. And we're very lucky to have Bitso. Pablo Gonzalez started it, and it's a very, very good exchange. And the cool thing about living in Mexico is Bitcoin tends to be, you know, anywhere from 500 to a couple $1,000s higher than in the world market. So you can actually, you know, occasionally it's below the world markets or at par, and then I'll buy it there. But for the most part, you know, I do my trading and want to sell it in Mexico, and then, you know, pay off my credit cards every month. through that. That's how I do it. So, all right. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know of anybody that publishes their trades too. I mean, please inform me, guys, if you know anyone. But there's no fudging there. You guys get I mean, you can set up the CSV file. The only problem I've had is I've had BitMEX closes down. If I forget and I log, we went to the Vegas conference in 2019, we come back and I logged in and, in the US and they closed the account, even though it was, my wife is Mexican. We live in Mexico. We logged in from the United States. And that happened again to me. I don't know when it was this year. Anyway, it's happened
twice, right?
Yeah, it's happened at least twice since February 4th.
February.
And so it kind of makes it difficult because I have to send you all those CSV files too, but hopefully it won't happen again. I just have to be real careful that I never log in while I'm in the US.
Okay, you got those, right? Let me scroll down.
Yeah. How much of a hodl should you have? Well, that's entirely up to you. When I first started in Bitcoin, all I had was a small business. And, I was constantly, it was an ongoing business, but if anybody that's in business, I think you make all this money at it. You don't, because everything, it's just like ugly old goat. Everything that I make, I'm putting back into the business. I take my income from trading. You guys become members. I'm using that to improve the membership service. And one thing we have to change is the business model. We can't just have this lifetime membership. That's great. It was a great kickstart, but that's why starting tomorrow, we're not lowering the price. It's going to be the same price, but it's just for a year. And we'll have maybe some other premiums and stuff, but it'll be renewable. Now, it won't be renewable, at 0.1 Bitcoin. We'll have a discount every year you renew. But we need to earn your subscriptions. We need to have a cash flow, and hopefully, if we're providing a good service, then people they'll want to renew, and that's why we're experimenting. We're trying to get this. I'm getting a Telegram group, which I've always had my fingers crossed, and we're seeing how we can actually have a shadow box of my trading, so you can see as I'm doing it, they somehow Budley's doing something now, so you can see in real time when I'm getting wrecked, or see in real time when I'm putting on a position. But you learn a lot more from my mistakes than my successes. That's for sure. And I write more about my mistakes, because what's there to write about success? It was just a matter of buying the blowout spike and holding the long until we took out the previous month's high, which we did. We that's it. This could be all she wrote, and Bitcoin goes. I think it'd be very healthy if we just go into a consolidation. Tone Vays has been saying, we're not going to go over 10,000 this year. He could very well be right. I have a hard time with that, just because of what's going on with these bailouts. But by the same token, people are out of work. We have some good friends here. They're working for us now because they have nowhere else to go. They spent the last of their cash on food, and they need work. And so fortunately, this is you guys that are hodlers. You also need, if we're our own banks, then we have to be responsible with it. And there's a lot of opportunity out there. If you're sitting on your laurels now and think, oh, I can't work, I can't, I know you can figure out something. There's an unlimited number of needs and wants out there. And so you just need to figure out what to do. We before this thing clicked in, the goat lady just had about 3 or 4 people working for her. She's got 20 people working for her now, making mass, because people need the work. We're kind of we're not underground, but we're kind of a gray factory, because we tried to get registered and do everything right, but it's such a problem in Mexico, it never got accomplished. So we're in a gray area. you know, they didn't order us to shut down because we exist, but we don't exist because of the bureaucratic red tape. So here we are, you know, providing people that need a livelihood, you know, paying them per diem just to come in and say, hey, you want to make masks? You know, come on in and work, and we'll pay you at the end of the day. You know what? We got people knocking at our doors. So,
Do you keep a journal?
no, I do not. Okay. No, I don't. Probably the best journal I have is the newsletter. So I journal with you guys.
Does
All
your
right.
trading system work for spot?
Yeah, sure. In fact, when I first started trading Bitcoin, I'd never traded with leverage. I traded just I would buy it on the spot market. And for example, if you did that, just the difference is I took 0.6 and because I was leveraged, I ran it into 11.6. Okay. And if you had not had any leverage on, look, we started buying it. It went from 3,200 to 9,400, 9,500. So you made 3x if you bought it down there at that low, and you could trade it back and forth. But just to say you traded and you didn't leverage at all, you made 3x, and that's nothing to sneeze at, guys. And, you know, 3x is look. I got I was very fortunate. I mean, it couldn't come at a better time because here I am promoting, you know, the lifetime subscription, and you know, I have pretty well instant credibility because you know I really did hit a good lick in the market. But I do this consistently every year, but I don't know when it's going to happen. You know, I can sit here and trade back and forth for months and not be making anything, and then all of a sudden, boom! That's the way it works in trading. All right. Okay.
No, we're not going to die today.
What?
He says, are we going to die today?
Well, we might.
We might.
What? Your mother's boyfriend?
Yeah.
He just
That
died.
sucks, yeah.
He was. Should I tell my story? No.
That's fine. I mean, I don't mind.
I'll probably get kicked off of YouTube.
Yeah, we don't want that.
He was on a respirator.
Yeah, he was on a respirator.
And he died.
Yeah, like 2 days ago.
Yeah. And you know what his last words were? Anyway, we didn't know that. Anyway, not funny. That's kind of what junior high humor, eighth grade humor. So, but it is humorous, I thought. So,
okay, it says, how did you know?
I don't have signals, guys. I don't have signals. Okay, is Telegram with bot? Cornex is Telegram trading a bot. Where you? Okay. Right, that's what we're working on, Michael. We're going to try that bot. There's a bot that we can load up apparently, and it's not signals. You just see what I'm doing. Because I'm not going to be, I don't want to get to the point where I got to say, well, I'm doing this because that's not the way I trade. I don't want to tell people I just go and do it. And you guys need to learn to do it. You don't need to follow. You're not going to be a good trader if you try and shadow me. You don't have to shadow me. Okay. You need to learn how to trade on your own. I'm not looking for anything right now. So yeah, I mean, the hardest thing to do is, be patient for a good trade. I should have probably just stayed in there's no, gosh, I wish I can most people, I can figure out where they're at by the questions that you ask. And most of you just aren't asking the right questions. So I don't have a problem pulling the trigger on anything. So that's not one of my issues. In fact, I tend to pull it too quickly, if anything. So I was very proud of myself yesterday that I waited and waited and waited and went right up to the over the previous. What I didn't do is go net short. I had meant to get net short. I almost did, and then said, you know what? I was just afraid that that market was going to go. You know, the problem is when there's FOMO, you never know when it's going to stop. And so when we were taking out those monthly highs, we're at 9,400. You know, it could have gone to 10 and a half, even 11,500 before it was over. And then what? You know, now what do I do if it goes up another 1,000 or two and I don't have my long position on? So I was very pleased. I got what I wanted. There's no reason to be out of this thing yet. So I stepped back in, but I didn't step back in with what I had on at the lower level. So the whole thing is, even if the market's topped out and it goes straight down from here, I preserved my equity. I took out half of what I made, and I don't have as big a position on. And hopefully, you know, I'll be able to go back and forth and build that equity again. What I'm looking at is that margin balance. So if you look at that margin balance is now at 6 Bitcoin, and I took out 5.6. So it's about 11.6 is where and that's where I was when I got out. So, but the market's lower than that. So I've improved my position, guys. You understand, even though I bought it back too quickly, I'm still net long with a smaller amount, but I have improved my position. And that's what trimming is about. Basically, I did a very successful trim.
You want to share?
I'm not sharing now?
No.
Okay.
So all you do is hit share and click here. There we go.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if I've gotten out of some of this other stuff. I'm still short the Ripple, and I may have, let's see if I bought any more of that back. No. Let's see where we're at here. But that was okay. So I want to cover this. It looks like, you know, I think Ripple's going to fall out of bed. I'm only bullish on Bitcoin. I still hate these other shitcoins. And here's the Ethereum, and this has worked out very well. Now I am short 20 Ethereum, and it's got a nice profit, and I'm just going to stay short that. I want to cover some of these and then just stay short with. I'm reducing my position, guy, but staying short. My mistake was I probably bought Bitcoin way too early. But we'll see. It's really hard to say. We had a classic move where the whole thing might be over with. We also have a move here where, you know, we are in contango. It's not much, but you have June trading $40 higher than September, and then the perp, and the September is trading $10 higher than the June. So and so if you're looking at that, and if you look at the basis right now, that's not paying much. So that's probably a little high, not too much, but 40 over. But we saw, you know, we should have bullish sentiment in the market. So again, I reduced my position. I'm probably wrong. My equity is actually going down because this market's breaking. I should have not probably covered. I should have just stayed covered and enjoyed, you know, the ride that I had. I'm giving back some of the profits that I had, but, you know, nothing that's too disconcerting. So, you know, we'll see what happens. It's a very mixed bag right now, and that's just because, you know, there's people that are prospering from this crisis, but most people are you know, are hurting. And so, you know, where's the demand going to come from for Bitcoin. And I do think that Bitcoin is going to gain on the alts, but we might break the alts first. And I also have the opinion that the government cannot shut down, the governments of the world cannot shut down Bitcoin, but they can shut down the alts. So if they start, really clamping down, they'll try to get Bitcoin by clamping down on the other alts. And it could have an effect on it. So, that's it. We'll see what
Someone
happens.
said, hey, Ugly, do we lifetime members need to pay again?
No, that's the other thing too. Once you're a lifetime member, everything that we develop, you get. It's for the life it's for my life. As long as I'm here, as long as we're doing things, you're going to get a discount. We haven't put up all the products we have for sale yet, stuff like that, but you get a 15% discount on things that, like a conference or stuff like that. Any new service that we have, like we're going to try this bot, or a shadow box where you can actually watch my trading. We have the Telegram group. As we do new things, you get whatever features we have. The only thing you don't get is the equity app, which is an extra feature that Victor Villacana has written the program. So if you want that and you're a lifetime member, you do have to pay for that. Now, we probably will offer that as a premium once we go to the subscription model. Say, well, you subscribe, we'll throw that in too, because we want people to be able to chart their equity. Because if we do this trading room, we want you to start trading off of your equity and not the charts. And let's see if I can pull that. I think am I screen sharing now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Let's see if I can screen share this. I don't think I can. Okay. All right.
Hold on, let me see if I can.
Yeah, I think I got to go out and come back in. And you know what? This is an old version. Victor's going to get on tonight, and hopefully he'll have it.
Here
There
we
it
go.
is. Okay.
All right, there you go.
Okay, so I have the equity app, but you can see what's happened here. This is my September futures position. And that's the 1 hour, let's do a different time frame. This is the 4 hour. Now, this is not the market. This is my equity. So do you see what I'm saying here? I got a 9. I should have gone short up here. I did go flat, but I didn't. At any rate, this is not the market. This is my equity. So you see how my equity, I had this big peak in equity. When you get up here and it's time to get out. And that was another reason I got out yesterday. I probably stepped back in way too quick. Let's go look for a larger, this is the 4 hour, and let's go to the daily. This is the September. And here we are. So we're on an, I just want to see what we're going to do today. That's why I stepped back in, and I might be completely wrong, but I've had a good run, and I'll probably cut my position back even more if we don't, if we don't recover today and we kind of, fizzle out, we could just be done and go. That would be the healthiest thing. I mean, I really hope that this was it and that we don't make the new high, because I think the best thing in the world would be if we could go sideways for the next 6 or 8 months. But we don't know. We don't know if that's going to happen. And so, yesterday everybody was bullish. And let's go back to, I do the screen share on that. Let's go. I think the important thing is this weekly chart right now. Or is it weekly or daily? Yeah, the daily. Let's go to the daily.
Here. Close down the equity app. Okay, there we go.
Now go up here to the daily.
Hold on.
Oh, okay, you're back there.
Yeah, I gotta pick it out.
Okay.
There you go.
All right, let's go up here and get. All right, so okay, this does not work. This is about as far as we should go down now. If we're going to go up, this is where the support is. So, doesn't mean that we're going to support and go up. But if we're going to go up, we're going to have a day like yesterday. Then what we've done is we went up, we went right down to where we closed yesterday. Now we ought to start back up and, close up in here. If we close down in here, then you really can't get super bullish again until you take out that high. I mean, this could be, look, this is a big move. We went from 35 from 9. Let's go look at the September because that's even bigger, or June. Let's go look at the June. Let's see. June's even bigger. All right, let's go XBT June. All right, look, 3,200. I bought under 33. I bought this dip. I bought it right now. I bought it up in here above 5,000. Okay. And I got blown out at 4,700, went to the doctor office, came back, and it was down here at 30. I was able to buy it at 33 after getting wrecked, and been buying and selling and trading this thing all the way up. Well, this reached, that's the move. That could be it. This could be the move for the rest of the year, even. So, but we don't know if this thing reverses and finishes strong. It's a whole nother matter. So, there's just no way of knowing. It has turned red. It looks like a reversal candle. Can we go all the way and undo what we did yesterday? I'd be very surprised. I don't think we can, but maybe we will. And here's the weekly. Oh, look at this. I didn't even notice that. Wow. You actually had a stop and reverse on a weekly, which you want to fade that, which I did. But I don't consider that bullish. It varies on the daily. But here we are in the daily again, and this is BitMEX. Let's go to one of the other markets. Let's go look at Bitstamp. All right. So here we are. We had a high of 94.85, and now we're at 87.10. We should hold, if we're this, I mean, if you want to take a stab at the long side, that's where you do it. And, if you're following this thing up as a trend follower, I always say use the 2-day low. Well, the 2-day low is going to put you down here. I don't want to ride it all the way back down there. So, are we going to, have we topped this thing out, or are we going to continue up? Well, the trend is still up. You got to bet that this thing is still going up. And I was very pleased that I got out. I'm not so pleased at what I bought back into early today. I bought in, 150 points too high. So I bought some at 88.20, which isn't too bad. Most of it 88.80. So, we'll see what happens.
Okay, so somebody wants to know, how do we enter the Telegram group? I think it's
just, if you have to have Telegram, and then it's ugly old goat
trading lounge.
Trading lounge, and just ask, and
then someone wants to know how much for the equity app.
I don't remember, but it's a couple. I really don't remember. It's like, I think we're doing it for a couple $100.
I think so.
Yeah.
We'd have to ask Victor.
Yeah, I have to ask. I don't get anything out of it. Look, the guy that developed it, I actually came up with this idea and ran it by Tone, and he was going to run it by Tyler Jenks. And I said, you know what? We need to do the TD on people's equity and not the market. And he goes, oh, no, you don't get it. And then he started thinking about it. Oh, you know what? I think I will run that by Tyler. And nobody got back with me. So then I met Victor, who's a subscriber, and he wanted to do it on his own.
He actually came down here.
Came down here and says, I want to do that because I just want to get my programming skills back up. So he has done it. And,
he's made several versions, right?
Yeah. And so there's some bugs in it now too. So he's correcting those. But he's got a full-time, he's a full-time engineer. Yeah, he's a full-time engineer, runs a major two major
factories.
factories down here.
So
So
he's traveling a lot.
yeah, and so he doesn't have a lot of time, but he stays up all night working on this thing. So it has a lot of potential, and we're excited about it. So we gave it away free initially,
Right.
and then we started charging for it. But
Okay.
initially,
Is there one article which explains your thought process for entering a trade?
No, there's not. What I have been, Knut Svanholm, he's kind of inspired me to probably try and write a book this year called ET, Equity Trading.
That's what you're going to call it?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
wow. Okay.
Yeah, because it's different from, and you know, to me, ET trumps TA. So. I mean, and I don't mean to badmouth.
Right.
I use technical analysis, but most everybody, you need to throw your charts away, and people are, what do you mean? No, the problem with it is almost everybody, that's where their emphasis is, and TA will do nothing but get you in trouble if you don't have equity management, because TA, you're trying to predict. Most TAs say, well, I predict. I don't predict. Okay. I use TA, but I don't use it to predict anything, because it doesn't predict anything, guys. It doesn't predict anything. You know, it doesn't. It just doesn't. It's useful. It's a tool, but it's not a prognosticator. So I use things that other people don't. You know, for example, you know, if you take out the previous month's high up in here, you sell it, you know, and what can I say? That's what I didn't predict it was going to go there and do that. I didn't predict that the market was going to 3,200 on June, you know, but when it happens, you have to be able to recognize it. And that's what you'll wind up doing, you know, and trading your equity keeps you out of trouble, because most technical traders say, well, you buy it here and you put your stop here. Well, you know what? Everybody's stops are above these highs and lows. That's why we run through stops, guys. We run through your stops, and then we go reverse, and too bad, so sad, you missed out. You know, that's the market, and you can't be playing that game. You have to. The most important, the secret to successful trader, being a successful trader, is not TA. It's you. You have, it's you. What's important is not what's going on out there, but what's going on with you, with your equity. That's how you measure things. That's where you put your stop. You get out, say, oh, that's it. I've lost enough. It's got nothing to do with put it under this low or whatever. Okay. Yeah, just get in. If you have Telegram, just go to,
Put the name of the Telegram group up there, so it's
okay.
Ugly Old Goats Trading Lounge.
Yeah, Ugly Old Goat. We just started about a week ago, and so we're ready to go. I'm posting more and more on it. It is easier for me, and
just copy and paste.
Yeah, I'll just take a screenshot, and you know, after I do a trade. I'm not doing it I do it after the trades, or you know, or you can see what I'm doing. But I told everybody, hey, if it takes out, you know, the last month's high, I'm selling. I sold it all up there. I sold it 92.71 all the way up to 94.1. Boom, got rid of. I was completely flat. Got out of everything. Completely flat Bitcoin. I didn't have the kahunas to. I wanted to go a little bit net short, but that's all right. I did. You know, I'm not complaining. So, and now I'm back into my old stupid trading style. I definitely bought back in too quick.
Okay, well, we'll try to get the link for today's show later on.
I'm going to do another show tonight, guys, and hopefully we'll have Victor on it. We couldn't. He's updating. Hopefully, I'll have time to update it a little bit. I'm going to do another show tonight, but I want to do this one.
I'll have Juan make sure he shares the link.
Yeah,
so
just because
join in and everything.
You know, I hit a good lick in the market. Everybody saw it. You can do this, guys. You can do it. You can do it consistently, and you saw how it worked. and it's just different. I do things completely different. When I have a dip in equity, I don't increase my position. I decrease it. I trade smaller. I started with a little tiny 0.6 Bitcoin on January. I took out 6. I actually made another 2 on Deribit and 2 on, but I'm not counting that. I made 6 Bitcoin I went 10x just on BitMEX. And April 10th, I did the 0.6 again. And this time, I went 17x. So just in Bitcoin alone, I have taken out 5.6. I've taken out 11.6, or from the initial investment I got out this, I've taken out 11 Bitcoin, and I still have 6 Bitcoin left. So that's 17. I've made 30. I don't think that's 30. I don't know what it is, but you can do it. And now guess what? I'm cutting back again. I'm cutting back. I should probably cut back more and just trade, go back and just, in fact, I might just I got that 2 Bitcoin in there. I might take that out and just keep my position side down. The problem is once you have a large position side, you kind of wanted to get back there. And I wanted to have, now I've got 225,000 on, and I probably should have just being net. And I was, earlier today, I was flat, and then I just went long 20,000 and said, you know what, I think this thing's going up. So I went ahead and covered it. And of course I did it way, way, way too early. So, all right. Well, we are, I think we're done, and we'll do this again
Later this evening.
Yeah, later tonight, and we'll see how much I get back in this market. So, I mean, and that's the whole thing. I'm consistent. And that's the other thing. If you try and shadow trade me, if you shadow trade me, you're not going to follow me when I'm winning. You're going to say, oh, you're going to see me win and then start following me, and you're going to lose right along with me. So you got to learn to do this on your own. You really, really do. And your situation everybody's situation is unique. It's like how much you have. Somebody asked, how much should you have for a hodl? Well, when I started, I had everything in Bitcoin, but I've made enough now. We've bought several properties. We're building the Bitcoin house. That's all because of Bitcoin. And the trading has allowed me to start Ugly Old Goat. I mean, I know people kind of expect I'm supposed to do all this stuff for free. They don't understand, running a business is not cheap. I've got an overhead, $10,000 a month. I'm supposed to do that for nothing. No, but you guys have made it work, and I'm not taking anything out. Everything that you guys, your membership is not going to me. It's going into what we're doing here. And hopefully we'll just get better at it. So I appreciate what you guys are doing, because you've really made it possible. And it encourages me when you do well. It encourages me when somebody says, wow, my whole trading has changed, because I'm looking at the market completely different. And you got to, because you go out there and look, it's all laid out to you. You got my warts, you got my bad trades, my good, it's all there. Okay. Most of these guys are out there, they tell about the winners and they just forget the losers. My best articles are not written after I've hit a good lick like I just did, but after I take a hit, say, man, what was I thinking of? And that's the other thing too. If you do subscribe, you have all the past newsletters, so you can go back and read them all, and you can say, oh, I see what the market's doing here, and here's what he did, and oh yeah, that was stupid, and you're going to find out that you can trade better than I can. Okay, all right, yeah, well, yeah, I think 5% is about right of your hodl. And then what you do is if you lose that 5%, you might want to just go in and cut back and use 2.5% next time. In other words, I go the opposite. There's this thing called, the Martindale, where you double down every time. That's proven not to work. But the other does work. In other words, if you have a downturn in equity, you don't replace that. You reduce that. And that's what I do. you can take a very small amount and turn it into a very large amount. Now, most people take a very large amount and reduce it to a very small amount. So you want to get, you need to really, the way I put it, you know, most large traders become small traders. A few small traders become large traders, and the wise large trader chooses to become a small trader again. A lot of wisdom, that guys, and a lot of discipline. So it's not something that you naturally want to do, particularly, you know, if you, you know, I have people say, man, I lost everything. And I'm going to be writing an article. Somebody says, you know, I lost everything. I lost my family saving. I can't even talk to my wife about this. And, you know, oh yeah. And I get that every month. And it's because, you know what? You get this King Kong complex. You believe in this TA, which is crap. TA is useful, but it's not predictive. You need to find out what the limitations are. And you just, the only fatal mistake you can make is money management.
Thank you, Mr. Ramirez.
What's that?
He says, hey, great to hear. Your audio is finally clear.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was Vaughn's mic,
What was
I
wrong?
guess. I don't know. I guess he likes the audio better.
All right.
We're improving, guys.
We're improving. We'll get it better. I'd like to say we're amateurs at all this social media stuff. I mean,
Oh, man,
I know what I'm doing.
They should go back to our first videos. Remember our first videos?
Yeah.
Oh man.
But you know, it just and you know, I'm not good at social media at all. I'm not good at all this stuff. Yeah, guys, I was locked up 11 years, and I came out. It was like Rip Van Winkle. You know, I'd see cars going by, and when wheels were spinning, it's, oh, what's it's like.
Yeah, when I got out, there was social media. And when I was out before that, I didn't even know about that. So
all right. Well, thanks for tuning in. We'll do it again tonight. And like I say, we're ending the lifetime subscription. It's too bad that the market went up so much, because it costs a lot more now than it did you know, a month ago.
yep.
She could have got a lifetime subscription for yeah, for about $300, and now it's double that. So at any rate, okay.
Well, all right, guys. Well, see you later.
All right, bye-bye.